Why we shouldn't forget about Final Space. Welcome back to Director's Choice. Today we'll be taking a closer look at the beloved yet canceled series Final Space. Final Space premiered at a time when adult TV shows needed a breath of fresh air. Final Space managed to be that and so much more. And although it was canceled, the memory of Final Space will live on for generations. This feel-good adult series brought something new to adult TV that hadn't been seen in a while. From its fresh take on adult humor to the warm yet heart-wrenching story, the series told before its cancellation.
I know, it's a blessing and my curse. It's dangerous.
In a time when adult animated shows felt repetitive and lackluster, Final Space emerged and it changed the game. It is for this reason that Final Space should never be forgotten. The wholesome story the series told in just 3 seasons will live forever in the hearts and minds of all of its fans. Another thing that will live forever is the memory of each character from Final Space. From Gary to Quinn to Mooncake to Little Cato and Ash, and every other character in the series. These characters left a permanent mark that will help them live on for many years. In this video, you'll see all the reasons you should not forget Final Space. The creator. Final Space was created by Thomas Olan Rogers, a comedian, voice actor, YouTuber, and much more. This extremely talented man is the brains behind Final Space, a project he had been working on long before the series was actually created. Final Space is Olan's passion project in every sense of the word, which is why it was so heartbreaking to see his project get canceled. The pilot episode of Final Space was released 6 years ago on Olan's YouTube channel. And it was there that viewers were first introduced to the amazing characters for the first time. The characters. Every character in Final Space leaves an indelible mark in the heart of every person who watches them. It's almost impossible to watch this series and walk away without falling deeply in love with at least one of the characters. That just goes to show how compelling each character is. Their unique stories made viewers feel like they knew each character on a personal level. And in a way, they did. Viewers watched each of these characters grow up through the seasons and become the best versions of themselves. It's too bad we couldn't finish the journey we started with them, but at least we can honor the memories of these amazing characters. Gary Goodspeed. The self-proclaimed captain himself, Gary Goodspeed was the star of the show, and watching him grow as the seasons progressed was almost poetic. Gary is the leader of the team squad, and he may not always get things right, but you can always trust him to go out of his way to help his team. When the series started, Gary was immature and cocky. After the death of his father and his mother's abandonment, Gary retreated into himself and resorted to stealing to survive. He was barely surviving when he met and fell in love with Quinn Aragon at a bar in New York. In an attempt to woo this serious Infinity Guard captain, Gary drugged a random pilot and stole his uniform. His impersonation goes well until he accidentally destroys 92 spaceships. Because of this, he spends 5 years in prison where he meets and befriends Mooncake and Avacato. Gary lost his father at a young age, and he also had to cope with his mother's resentment. This is what pushed him to build a humor wall that he uses as a defense mechanism. In addition, Gary has obvious abandonment issues which stem from his childhood trauma with his parents. His abandonment issues can be seen in his rock-solid loyalty to Mooncake and Avacato regardless of the different problems he experienced because of them. Quinn Aragon. Quinn Aragon, aka Muy Bueno, Super Spicy Lady as Gary called her, is serious and no-nonsense personified. She keeps her focus strictly on how to get the job done no matter what it takes. She's always willing and ready to sacrifice anything and anyone to make sure she succeeds in her mission. Despite Gary's best attempts, Quinn does not reciprocate his romantic feelings, but this certainly does not stop the lover boy from trying. Gary spends half the show trying to convince Quinn about his undying love for her. In fact, while he was in jail, he sent a video message to her every single day for 5 years. Gary may be loud and obnoxious, but his love for Quinn and the rest of the team is true. Avacato. Avacato is one of the darkest members of the team squad. The depth that he brings to the series is powerful and compelling. As the Lord Commander's former second-in-command, Avacato had done a lot of things he's not proud of, including killing the actual parents of his adoptive son, Little Cato. Avacato is plagued by guilt and weighed down by the memories of his past atrocities. He is unable to give Little Cato his love because he does not think himself worthy to be his father. After all, he is the reason Cato didn't grow up with his real parents. This crime, along with the other hundreds Avacato has committed, is the reason he struggles to give and receive love. While working for the Lord Commander, Avacato did many horrible things that he will probably never forgive himself for. Avacato later joined the team squad and helped Gary and Quinn on several missions. The Lord Commander was holding Little Cato captive, so Gary and Avacato tried to rescue him. Their first rescue attempt cost Gary his arm, but he still joined Avacato on the second rescue attempt, which again shows the depth of Gary's loyalty. Gary and Avacato managed to save Little Cato, but Avacato dies when he sacrifices himself to save them both. Gary then adopts Little Cato as his son. Although Avacato is dead, his memory lives on in each member of the team squad, and you can just tell by watching them that they'll never forget him. Avacato may seem cold sometimes, but when it comes to his teammates, he'd do anything for them, including sacrificing himself. Mooncake. Gary's best friend and loyal companion, Mooncake was the lovable superpower planet-destroying team mascot we didn't know we all needed. What Mooncake brought to the team was special and unreplaceable. His love for each member of the team squad was one of the threads that held the whole show together. Nightfall. This is basically just Quinn from the future, or like Gary called her older, hotter Quinn. Nightfall is from an alternate timeline that exists 20 years in the future. In her timeline, she and Gary fall in love and battle the Lord Commander together until Gary dies trying to detonate an antimatter bomb. After other Gary's death, Nightfall became a shadow of herself, and she made it her mission to rewrite history and bring him back. Sadly, her plans to reunite with the love of her life failed every single time. She later joins the team squad before finally sacrificing herself to free Bolo. Her story is pretty sad because all she ever wanted to do was reunite with her Gary, and she never got that. The story in Final Space is intertwined with so many unique, compelling plot points that suck you in and hold you there. Not only are we watching the characters battle intergalactic threats, we are also watching them become better versions of themselves with every episode. Final Space managed to do what most adult animated shows have struggled to do for years: tell an intriguing story. While there are some exceptions, most animated shows today have become remakes of other shows with nothing unique to offer. Whenever a new adult animated show drops, it's usually just a slightly different take on another popular show like Family Guy or South Park. Final Space was the only adult animated show to bring something truly unique to the table. Every storyline in this series was memorable and relatable. We watched each character struggle with their own inner demons and past trauma, all while struggling through life itself. The humor. Over the years, adult animated humor has slowly become monotonous, but Final Space was an adult show that did not capitalize on the already overused, raunchy adult humor. Instead, it created its own type of humor which helped it stand out when compared to other series. Despite its cancellation, Final Space will always remain one of the most exceptional adult animated series the world has seen in a long time. That brings us to the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we showed you why you should never forget Final Space. Please take a look at this other recent clip by Director's Choice, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the notification button so you don't miss an episode.